Good morning from Universal Studios Hollywood. It's been about 3 days more or less, since our last update in the park. We celebrated the final day of the 60th anniversary. I actually have that video up right now, so go check that out. We have a lot of big updates for you today, starting over here in CityWalk. And I'm completely walking the wrong direction, so let's get right into that. Now over here in CityWalk, we're actually getting something pretty unexpected. I didn't think they would ever do this, but they're doing it. This is the former location of Samba. It was a Brazilian cuisine that had nighttime performances with Samba dancers, but it's been closed for quite a while now. I think over 6 or 7 years. It closed way before COVID even happened. But Universal just announced that this will be turning into yet another Escapology location. Escapology is actually a really great company that makes really unique escape rooms. So over here in CityWalk, they have 2 new escape rooms with an additional one opening later on. They have a Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Castle Adventure escape room and Batman the Dark Knight Challenge. Now with this will come a haunted house and a lot more. We're waiting on more details, but as of right now they've already started development in this former Samba location. So I know a lot of you guys are feeling questionable about an escape room over here in CityWalk because of the turnout of Universal's Great Escape in CityWalk Orlando. If you aren't familiar with Universal's Great Escape, they opened that escape room location with 2 escape rooms, one themed to Back to the Future, the other to Jurassic World. And it wasn't the most successful escape room. I think it's just because it was so tucked away and it wasn't necessarily like an escape room. It was more of an experience rather than an escape room. But this will be different. This is done professionally by escape room artists. It'll have Universal's touch to it, but it'll be a lot better than the turnout of Universal's Great Escape. And as time moves on, I'll keep a close eye on that escape room. It's gonna be awesome. And I know it's gonna be awesome because Escapology has many different locations across the US and also in Mexico. Speaking of future developments, this is taking shape a lot quicker than I thought it would. We have the Smile Shop over here along with Hello Kitty and Friends Cafe, and the signage has gone up very quick. They only announced this about a week and a half ago. It's looking great. I think we'll probably see an opening. I don't know how long it takes to acquire permits or dining permits, but most likely by the end of the year, realistically, but it could be sooner. Considering how quick they're working on this, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's looking great. I just wanted to quickly head into the Universe store over here. Since the 60th anniversary of the studio tour has come to an end, they discounted all of the 60th anniversary merchandise. Everything here is 50% off now. Oh, okay, it's not all of the merch, but select merch is 50% off, and you can also add your annual pass discount to that as well. If you look at this jacket over here, $29.99, and you can apply your annual pass discount. Now approaching the Universal Arch, they still do have some 60th anniversary signage. This will probably be removed soon. I give it like 2 more days. Also, just entering the park, we still have all of these lighting rigs set up. I'm sure they've already done their necessary tests. But from behind the arch, we're seeing some newer Source 4s installed. These are all pointing towards the water fountain over here. And I was just thinking to myself, how cool would it be if they had this water fountain running at night, but with like red dye, so it looks like there's blood coming out of the fountain. And then for the longest period of time during Horror Nights, or even in the daytime, they had Metal Man stand up on this little platform and interact with guests. I think that was one of my favorite characters that existed in the park. But for Halloween, he would be all creepy, he would hold a knife, and he would get off his platform and kind of walk around this area. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I tried to find pictures for you guys, but I had a hard time finding a picture of him in his Halloween outfit. But I remember distinctively my first time visiting in 2011, I remember Metal Man walking around with a knife. It was just the scariest thing ever. We have a lighting fixture set up right above feature presentation over here, pointing towards this photo op that wasn't there for the 60th anniversary, but I'm assuming they'll be setting up another photo op for Horror Nights in this location. And there it is, like I was talking about in like maybe 2 or 3 videos ago. They have those big lighting fixtures being set up above Hollywood and Dine, and almost instantly after they removed the 60th anniversary signage, those rigs are fully installed, and there's a lot more to come on those rigs. So we'll keep an eye out. They haven't fully transformed the park into Horror Nights mode. We still have like a few signs promoting the 60th anniversary. I'm assuming they still have these food offerings. I want to double check just in case. But yeah, the menu is still here. They still have most of the 60th foods and stuff in here. Let's go check inside of the restaurant. Yeah, they definitely still have all the 60th food offerings. However, they don't have the, what are they called? The dining pass? They don't have the dining pass anymore. I wonder if they're going to be utilizing Lumley Court this year for another Peacock bar or just another bar in general. They have the Purge Dangerous Waters happening again over inside of the Waterworld Arena. So I bet that's why they're closing the park so early on the weekdays now. They close at 7 p.m. so that way the actors and actresses that are performing in Purge Dangerous Waters can practice, and that way they can rehearse without guests in the park. They do have some lighting rigs set up above the restroom entrance over there. Anyways, we're gonna move on. It's kind of hitting me now that the 60th anniversary is done and we're not gonna be able to make the Plaza as our first stop of the day. And it's really sad because I really miss 6 Points and the characters in 6 Points. They did a great job every single day I went. And then this is to like all the casts. I know Priscilla and Hitch were great, but the rest were amazing as well. I mean, on the final day of the 60th anniversary, we had a great cast in 6 Points. They're running around. We had a little interaction with the deputy. No Halloween decorations yet. Unfortunately, we can't go inside of the plaza, but we can take a quick peek outside of these gates. And it looks like they already are setting up some Horror Nights booths. I guess the birria taco stand is reopening this year, which is nice. I loved the birria tacos every year. Probably my favorite Horror Nights food item, and I hope they bring it back this year. But they do have that booth set up. And we also have some more returning props, and I think this just confirms that Plaza de los Muertos is making a return, which is awesome. I didn't have a problem with that at all. Music was great, the vibes were great, the atmosphere was amazing, and it's good to see it return. I really hope they decorate a little more this year in Plaza de los Muertos. I like what they did for the 60th anniversary where they had the string lights going across. I feel like they should do that for Horror Nights. That'd be cool. And then I'm seeing like a projector over here. Is that a projector? I don't know what that is. I'm assuming that's a projector or like a hazer machine. It might be one of the two, but we have that sitting up here. I'll take a look once they reopen the plaza later on next month. I think they also need to repaint this side of the plaza. It looks like it did undergo a little bit of wear and tear because of the 60th anniversary. They had this beautiful mural set up on that wall. It looked amazing. But that's all we have going on inside of the plaza. Again, more lighting rigs being set up above this side of New York Street. This is a bit of a surprising lighting rig, but right above the City Snack Shop, we have some lights set up. And this will be pointing towards A Quiet Place. I'm surprised they left a good chunk of Walking Dead stuff in front of the former Walking Dead attraction entrance. Like, if you look above, this is a small Easter egg to the Walking Dead. They have signage for the Harrison Memorial Hospital. They didn't change that at all, and I hope that if Universal's watching this, they don't change it. Like, please don't, like, leave it. It's a pretty cool Easter egg. Another really cool Easter egg, I feel like I don't point this out enough, but on this far right side of New York Street, they have one. Okay, I thought it was gone for a second. But they have a Baker Street sign right over here. And they have this sign over here because Baker Street used to be this street over here, and they had a lot of cool live entertainment. They had one of the Royal Guards walking around Baker Street. They had a piano player at one point. But I'm glad that they still have some representation of Baker Street. This isn't necessarily Baker Street anymore. It's Pet's Place now, but they still have signage for that, and I think that's really cool. And then we're just admiring the monstrous facade right now. I wanted to point out that we do have one update on the facade. It's a very minor update, but they added the little platform to go into the maze. All of the mazes are elevated. Usually they lay plywood on the ground, a thicker piece of plywood, not just one little plywood, but they lay a thicker piece of plywood on the ground and they build the maze above the plywood. And that makes it so much easier because they could bolt down some of the haunted house flats to the ground because they don't want to drill holes into the cement, obviously. But usually what they do for these platforms, instead of having a railing go up like this, they fill in the gap with a little bit of asphalt leading up to it, so it's kind of like a subtle change from the ground to the wood. And then I'm not sure if they're gonna do this year, but usually they add like a very small thin like carpet above the floor, so it's easier to walk around the maze. Outside of that, I'm not seeing any other updates. I'm trying to see if they plugged in any of this lighting. It doesn't look like they have. Yeah, we still have some exposed wires, and they're not done quite yet, but detail-wise, I'm sure they're done. We have a lot of like natural dead leaves on this facade, and I think that's what's really cool about this location. We have a tree right above it, and so the leaves just naturally fall and topple over this facade, and it gives it an extra like dirty look, minus the plastic right there. But it looks really cool, and I don't know if we're gonna have Muerte in front of the haunted house this year. It doesn't seem like we are, just because there isn't a whole lot of room for the actor to walk around. I mean, it could be right, he could be right here, and this like little magnet chain link fence gives me hope for that, but there still isn't a whole lot of room for him to walk around, and if he's carrying a shovel, it doesn't make sense for him to be right here. It would make sense for him to be on this side instead. But again, not a whole lot of room to walk around, and there's a tree over here obstructing the view of Muerte. So I'm thinking in that standpoint, and I don't know, honestly, I don't think it's really necessary to have Muerte in the front, unless instead of him being behind the chain link fence, he could just be walking and roaming around before you enter the haunted house. We could treat it like a mini Muerte scare zone with just one Muerte. I'm seeing a lot of exposed wire inside of the facade as well. These are most likely for the speakers. They're not plugged in yet, but I'm sure they've already been tested. And we'll take a look at some of the scare zone props as well, because once you're done with this haunted house, you exit directly into scare zone, which is also themed to the Latin American monsters, but different monsters. Inside of that scare zone, you come face to face with luchadores and monstrous luchadores. Okay, before I head into that scare zone, I just wanted to point out this little sign we have over here, the little graphic that says Happy Halloween from Universal Studios. And I don't know if this was done intentionally, but we have our first look on some of the costumes and outfits for the other scare zones, which we haven't received any concept art from. So starting from the left, we're gonna go from the left to the right. We have the Halloween Horror Nights iconic sign over here with the demon arch, if you may. But we have not Frankenstein, a monstrous luchadores. And then we have a stilt walker from, I believe this will be Skull Lords. Just from the outfit, it seems like it's a very like gothic outfit, and this is one of the stilt walkers. And then over here we have Punk Saws. This is the outfit for Punk Saws. I thought they would get like a skeleton, or a silicone skeleton mask, but they didn't. They instead have, it almost seems like a nod to The Purge, because it says Kiss Me, and one of the masks in The Purge has a mask that says Kiss Me. And then another one of the Monstruos Luchadores. And then another scare actor from Skull Lords. Again, I love the outfit here. And lastly, we have another scare actor, this time from chainsaw punks. Looks good. And in the middle it says Happy Halloween from Universal Studios. Alright, and we have some more Scare Zone stuff over here. This time for Murder of Crows, which is another one of our Scare Zones. By the way, I know a lot of you guys are asking about the Death Eaters. Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but Universal Studios Japan is getting Death Eaters, and I don't know if this is true again, but they must have shipped the costumes from Hollywood to Japan to be reused in Japan. But anything's possible, they just still haven't announced the return of Death Eaters. But we have some more Scare Zone stuff for Murder of Crows. You could see that we have just this huge poster with a bunch of crows and scarecrows. It's really nothing crazy, but it's cool. They did this with toys last year, I believe. Because New York Street was under construction, they had construction walls around New York Street, and instead what they did with the construction walls is they did a similar like poster on the walls. Regardless, it's pretty cool that they even do something here. I hope they move the ice cream cart and the other cart next to it, or else there's no point of having it, but otherwise it looks cool. John Murdy, the creative director of Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood, he announced that in this Scare Zone we will have an animated figure and some decorations. So what I guess we could expect is maybe some scarecrows and those planters over there, and maybe a little queen crow over here on this left side. I mean, it would only make sense. But I just wanted to point this out because this is a little coaster update. We have some more vertical work going on in front of the structure. It's looking cool. All right, let's continue. We have some lighting fixtures above the cocina over here. These have been fully installed. The other day, some of them were toppling over, but now they're all set up. They're all ready. I'm sure they're already doing and performing their lighting tests. It looks great. We have some more lighting rigs set up above the French Street Bistro. I'm not really expecting the biggest change in this Scare Zone. Maybe a few extra props. Outside of that, I think it's gonna look very similar to how we see it right now, or how we saw it in the last update. Still no fog machines out quite yet, but they are installing the mini spotlights in front of the posters and those boxed Scare Zone props. I wonder if they've installed any lighting here. Ooh, I think that's a strobe right there. These are very old strobes. They used to use this way back in the day. They changed the background a little bit of this one. I wonder if they'll add a little more detail to it. I think they should, just because it looks so like bland and kind of, I don't want to say boring, but it doesn't look detailed. So I'm sure they'll do something with it. Outside of that, do we have any other changes? It's not really looking like it. They did add some more signage over here. I'm not even gonna try to translate this. Let me know what this says. But also inside of here, ooh, that's actually kind of hard to see, but we have some luchador masks, and it looks like one of those like banners. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that. I mean, it's a window and it's in public view, so I'm sure I could. But kind of like looking at it, look at those luchador masks. That's really cool. Oh, this is cool too. I think this luchador might be new. I'm not sure. There's so many of them. But I really hope they add more props in this one as well. It says Luchadores Monstruosos. And we only have one luchador inside. They should add a few more. But I want to point this out in every video. I love their Doc Martens. They just added some lighting around him. That's about it. I don't think we have any other changes. I guess a few more of those like fiesta awnings. And I think that's it. I don't think we're gonna see anything else. Oh, I think this luchador has a mask. I'm not sure if he had a mask in yesterday's video. Yeah, that's definitely it. Just one last banner over here with some mini spotlights. Some coaster updates over here. I think it slowed down just a little bit. They focused a lot of their work last week on the mech bay, or that structure we're seeing right in front of us. Today we don't have as much activity going on. Maybe they're on their lunch break, or maybe they're working a little earlier in the day. I am here a little later today. Nothing like crazy new. We're starting to get those first supports, and it looks like the track is like kind of taking shape here. Not the physical track, but like the layout is taking shape. It looks like there might be like a bank turn over here that goes up and above that over there. I think it comes from the other side, so maybe like the track faces like this way, and then it bends down, turns over here, and then it follows the course that way. And then this is most definitely a launch. Like I 100% know this is a launch right here. I couldn't see what else this could be, to be honest. Like, it's just one long straight track. It could be like a block section, but I highly doubt it. I think it's a launch right there. And then obviously a few more supports taking shape down there. That's looking really cool. No supports on the other side, but I think they're basically done pouring in concrete for the coaster footers, so we'll see some more supports and eventually track on that other side. I think that's where we'll see it first. Yeah, it's looking good. They're about to pour in some more coaster footers on this bottom half. We have another box taking shape over here. We saw these taking shape a long time ago. They kind of covered it up, but it's right under this dirt over here. There's a few of them actually. There's one right under here, near this support, and then there's one around this area. But I guess there's another taking shape right there. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of construction on that side, just the coaster footers from last time. Doesn't look like they've done a lot of work on that side. But the attention has definitely been on this side of the project. And wow, look at the crane moving that piece of rebar. They're finally getting those lighting rigs set up above Luigi's, and I'm sure they have them set up closer to the Terror Tram. They dim the lights big time over here in Springfield at night, and they project these like blue colors down on the ground. They do this every year, so nothing new here. It's been a while since I've seen Krusty, but he's out today. I thought he only comes out seasonally, but I think it's just random. Really cool to see him out. Anyways, walking closer to the studio tour, you could see that they removed the 60th anniversary decorations, but they did install these Source 4s above the Quickie Mart and above the DMV. I think it's really cool how they're doing a IP Terror Tram. Once again, we're getting Enter the Blumhouse with many different Blumhouse characters, from The Purge to M3GAN. So I'm really excited to see that this year. Again, some more lighting coming closer to the Terror Tram. It looks like they swapped out those banners as well. We had a bunch of 60th anniversary banners on the walkway to the tram, but they just swapped those out with fresh new banners. The others were pretty like sun faded, but these look really new and nice. I have one for Fast and Furious Supercharged. That one looks clean. That one looks so good. We have another with the original studio tour sign. These are some high quality posters. Another Psycho one over there. And then we have one for War of the Worlds. Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. Let's see what else we have. Earthquake. This looks like a new poster. I feel like it used to be different, but it might be just because it's been a while since I've seen the Earthquake poster. But they left the 60th anniversary little banner over here. I think they should leave this up year-round. I think it's a really neat piece of art. It shows, oh, you're good. It shows like the transformation of the studio tour from the original glamour trams to the regular studio tours to the electric tour now. Walking down, I wonder if they left up the mural. We're about to find out. And there it is, the original poster we're used to. I miss this. I haven't seen it in a while. I didn't notice this, but on the globe it says the world famous studio tour. Alright, let's get in line. It's posted at a 20-minute wait. Unfortunately, they're still playing this song. This is my least favorite song of all time.
Or vaping of any kind. To be prepared today, our tour, it will feature loud noises, pyrotechnics, sudden tram movements, and water effects. Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon.
Aww.
Welcome aboard the world famous...
They gotta bring back the original.
I know what you're thinking. Why the time? Well, we're
Anyways, this gives us an opportunity to look at coaster updates.
Glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we'll pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio store is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
That's right, folks, and while our studio tour is 60 years old, the studio itself, oh, it's older than that. We were created way back March 15th, 1950 by our founder there, Carl.
This coaster support is huge.
Carl Leveling, of course, he had a dream of creating not just a studio, but a city dedicated to making the movies. And even in those early days, he would invite the public into the studio to watch silent movies being made. Guests could walk from set to set, marveling the new technology. Now, with the invention of talkies or motion pictures with sound, that original walking tour ended. But in the 60s, we created the world-famous Universal Studios Tour, which expanded with some fantastic, one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements. In fact, you'll see the very real fire station to the right-hand side. That is our Fire Station 51, part of Universal City. Well, what used to exist there was what we called the Burning House, a studio tour classic. To the left, we used to have what we called the Falling Rocks. Today, a Fast and Furious roller coaster currently being constructed, right? Lots of fun stuff coming up here at Universal City. And we are also developing our studio. In fact, we're preparing for the 2028 Olympics. Yeah, it comes to Los Angeles that year. And NBC Universal, as we broadcast the Olympics here in the U.S., we are preparing well in advance. And while we are building a lot of new buildings, this building on your left, Stage 12, it's not new. No, it was built way back in 1928. In fact, every scene on your screen was filmed right there.
See if we can see anything. Oh wow. Okay. A little bit. Some snow on the facade. It looks like a big crypt. Really hard to see in there from this angle, but
we will be passing by a whole bunch of sound.
They're still running a lot of the 60th anniversary videos.
Coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams.
We're passing by editing bays here to the left-hand side. We've got a construction mill further along to build their sets. Offices beyond that to write our scripts. Every phase of production is here in the front lot, the nerve center of the entire industry. And again, a lot of that industry today is TV, and it kind of always has been. We worked on a lot of TV over Eric Legend and Justin Spitzer. Justin brought a superstore. The buildings at Cars,
a while ago we saw construction.
To adapt these sets
they
so
were
they can
switching
be
up
used
the
over and over again.
storefronts over here, and now it's St. Denis Medical.
Thanks, Jim.
It premieres in November, so we won't be able to watch the show until November, but that's really cool.
As Hill Valley.
DeLorean is gone. I hope they moved it elsewhere. I hope it's still on property.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future film.
That just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times.
In fact, one of the first houses you'll see, it's coming up to the left. It's the second one. It's the beige house.
Some filming going on over there.
Jimmy Stewart's house in the movie
13
Mockingbird Lane,
Colonial Street.
Monsters. Looks a little different today, right? Speaking of today, though, this yellow house, well, this was Davy's house in Netflix's Never Have I Ever, produced by Mindy Kaling. Davy, of course, played by Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. In fact, they did a wonderful job of turning this neighborhood into their very own for about 4 years.
This house was used
into their very own.
Very curious to see if we're going to take the normal tram routes now, since the 60th anniversary is over. Here's a moment of truth.
In the 60s on filmwatts.
Now, I have it on good authority to say this.
We're actually going through.
Do not attempt to do that today.
Wow, look at those lighting rigs.
Now, as you're around the corner, you'll see some picture cars.
Wow.
Including the original Glamour tram.
Insane.
We got, of course, the gyrosphere and the Jurassic Park Jeep.
Ooh, the picture cars
That's a
are
Flintstone
located
ride
here
for the
now.
Fast and Furious vehicles.
Interesting. They have a few of them. Here's what's going on this side. I hope they have like a gauntlet-style scare zone here.
For Halloween Horror Nights, our annual horrific event starting in September.
So overwhelming. So many things going on around
here.
here.
For Halloween Horror Nights, after all, around the corner you got.
It'd be cool if they do like a purge gauntlet here, though. It'd be pretty smart.
From Alfred Hitchcock's 1960s Psycho.
Let's see what's going on in front of the Psycho house now. Hollywood sign is still there.
Now, as we head up our Psycho
Ooh.
path, you're going to catch a glimpse of the Hollywood sign. Not the original. No, a
A
replica
lot
we
of
built.
lighting.
After
They
all,
have
Hollywood sign
the
is
sound
somebody
barriers set
gets
up
into the-
already.
So we made our own.
Lighting
You're not
set
actually going
up.
to see the Hollywood sign here
Up
at
the
Universal Studios
Psycho
Hollywood
path.
because you're not actually in the city.
Some lighting set up, pointing up the trees.
But we do have the
Lots
iconic Psycho
and
house as we head on up the
of
hill.
lighting.
Oh my.
Some lighting set up behind War of the Worlds.
Oh good,
Which is
that's not bad. We should go.
Some facades over there. There's Norman. There's Norman. Oh,
From a disastrous meet and greet to the disastrous crash set.
we're gonna see some
War
trusses
of
set
the
up over
Worlds,
there.
Directed by
Where are you going, Norman?
Steven Spielberg.
Norman went inside of the maze. That's funny. Lots and lots of lighting set up. Those pickets are still there. I really hope they decorate a little bit better for the tram this year. That's the one thing that the Terror Tram lacks, decorations.
That plane.
I mean, it's still pretty cool that we have this giant 747, and I think that they use that as the decoration, but I mean, it would be cool if we have like more dead bodies around and more graphic props.
They were driving them under.
Some more
Hey,
lighting
look at
set
it though,
up
loved
over
it. Just had to
there.
make it look like the aliens did it
And it looks
instead.
like the
There's something
Blumhouse
pretty terrifying
facade is
about all
taking
the
shape.
passengers of the plane.
So it looks like we might
missing, like
enter
your imagination, thinking about what
the actual
happened to them.
Blumhouse
Steven
house,
Spielberg
like we
learned that
did back
lesson
in
horror
maybe
and terror and
2018 or
fear
2019 when they
his
had
movie Jaws
the Blumhouse
way back
house
when. I briefly
in the
mentioned that
backlot.
Jaws became the
Alright, here's a pretty solid look onto that facade.
One of my first
Nice, nice. This will probably be a photo op over here for RIP tour. We have another Blumhouse facade over here, so I think the entrance will be on this side. Here's a look in.
Now, one of Jordan Peele's dreams was actually had a set of his featured on the studio tour, and after making his movie Nope,
And it looks like the tram pickup will be over here once again. I think Jupiter's Claim will be used as photo ops for the RIP tour.
Ricky Juke Park.
As we enter, they have already started preparation for Horror Nights inside of Jupiter's Claim. I'll show you guys what I mean in just a second. Alright, so we have some lighting rigs set up here. We're probably going to see some smaller ones set up on the right and left side. Yeah, there's one over there.
It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this house is the old rough frontier town.
We probably have a few more set up. Oh, there's an alien. That's funny. So as we get closer to Horror Nights starting, I'm 90% sure that Jupiter's Claim will be closed to the general public. So I don't think trams will be driving through because they'll have photo ops, like official photo ops set up in
if you
here.
haven't seen, look up.
Don't look up.
You all looked up.
More lighting set up on the
Today's
left
conclusion,
side
Facts in the Furious.
and towards the exit.
Now, we're headed into Sullivan's
The
truck
Terror
repair.
Tram.
A quick reminder to please remain seated. Otherwise, I am going to let
This
the cast and
pickup
crew of
will
the
probably be
family
set up
take it
for
away. Let's roll sound.
RIP tours.
Roll cam.
Look, this might be more serious than I thought. What just happened? This is a secure line. Who are you?
Some glamour trims over here.
I'm the
I haven't seen that one clip that follows Fast and Furious in a long, long time. He's running another 60th anniversary video right now. Some more lighting rigs set up for Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is located right over here. It looks like H-Slot is basically ready for Horror Nights. Look at all the lighting set up there, and I hope they do that projected effect. Again, that added so much atmosphere in H-Slot.
You got the beautiful martini shot, the last shot of the day. And of course, I'd like to acknowledge all of the guides, drivers, and ambassadors who helped make the studio tour world famous. Speaking of, can we go ahead and give our driver Ricky here a nice big round of applause? We really could not have done the tour without her, so thank you so much. Hey, you kind. And for my annual pass holders.
They removed that 60th anniversary photo op pretty quickly, and I'm sure we'll get a photo op, a special photo op for Halloween Horror Nights. I don't know if this is remaining truss work from the 60th anniversary, but we do have either a start or an end to a Horror Nights photo op over here. And for those that were curious about glamour trims, they are still running the trams with a few glamour trims. They haven't removed the vinyl art yet. Some of the trims are still candy wrapped with the glamour trim effect. Here's a quick look at what they're doing over here. It looks like they're building almost like a roadway going up. They might have like a barricade on the side of it, but this might be to transport like emergency vehicles up. Not exactly sure where that road's gonna go because it's not a whole lot of space to put even more road on this side, but we're working on something here, that's for sure. Not much of a change on dead exposure. It's looking pretty much the same. I think the biggest change that we'll see in the next few weeks here is just the addition of a dead body in front of the van. I think that's it. Glamour trim. Wow, this is something you don't usually get to see here at Universal. They have Juliet out. I haven't seen Juliet out like all summer. That's crazy. Even more lighting set up over here above the mummy lockers. Nothing in terms of the themed bar. They actually haven't announced any of the food or drink offerings for Horror Nights. I hope we get an announcement for that in the next coming weeks. Since they do have the weekend coming back this year, I'm sure they'll bring back the weekend bar just based on its success in 2022. Lots of lighting going on down here at the lower lots compared to previous years. Lots of lighting, holy smokes. Oh my god, that was unexpected. I actually did not expect them to bring back the Leatherface's barbecue. Wow. This is insane that we have this coming back. But they're working on it pretty quick. We have some truss work over there pointing onto this facade. Wow, this looks awesome. For some reason, I'm having a hard time remembering what they had last year in terms of themed food. I don't think I even ate here last year, but do you guys remember what they had down here last year? Regardless, we have some more lighting going on above the studio scoop and a lot of lighting. This is probably the most amount of lighting they've done in a while above Production Central. Some more over here above Studio Cafe. And that should be it. I'm so excited for Horror Nights. So excited. That's basically everything I have for you today here at Universal Studios Hollywood. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like. I'm JP, and how they say in the movies, that's a wrap. I'll see you guys in the next one.